Hello everyone and welcome to the fourth video of our yoga and exercise for well-being in COVID times. My name is Elena, I'm a yoga and Pilates therapist with an expertise in exercise for older adults. In today's video, we're going to explore a physical discipline that may be new to you, but that I'm sure that once you get to know it, it will be a great addition to your training routine. So in brief, we can say that functional training is this group of exercises specifically designed to help you go through your daily activities in a safer and more confident way. So things like, for example, getting out of bed in the morning, or standing up from a low chair, or grabbing something from the floor, just grabbing your bags of groceries, or even painting a wall, or playing with your grandchildren. All those little or even bigger actions that we need to perform regularly. So functional training will replicate these movements with a focus on technique and safety. And that's a kind of reprogramming your body and your mind so that you can repeat these movements in different contexts with variations and in your real life. Functional fitness describes the level of muscular strength, cardiovascular endurance, balance and flexibility necessary to perform activities of everyday living safely and effectively. So whether you're already active and want to improve your ability to perform in your hobbies or sports, or you're a more sedentary person and already find yourself having trouble maintaining your independence in your daily activities, you're going to love this discipline. Now that you have a better understanding of what functional fitness is and how important it is to help us stay mobile, stay strong and independent, I'm going to show you 8 functional training exercises to get you moving in the right direction. Squats are one of the best exercises that you can do to maintain the lower body strength that you'll need to go through everyday activities like standing up from a couch or even from the toilet or grabbing some things from the floor. So today we're going to practice from the chair, but if you feel that you're a bit more advanced, you can totally practice already from the standing up position. So what I want you to do is to find a steady and stable chair and move back until you feel that your feet are flat but as close to the chair as possible. Okay, so depending on the height of the chair, you will need to move all the way back or just somewhere in between, as I am. So once you're in here, your feet should be level with your hips, so not totally close together but not fully spread like this, so just align with your hips and remember fully flat, okay, to give you that sensation of safety when you stand up. You're going to be using your glutes, your quads and your tummy muscles in here, and you will consciously squeeze your glutes and your tummy because your quads are just going to simply be working on their own, so don't worry about them. So I want you to do, keeping your knees in line, you're going to push your feet against the ground, squeeze your tummy, push your upper body forward, feeling your feet on the ground, keep pushing your feet and stand up. Exactly. Make sure that your knees are still in line, okay? So don't bring them any closer because you may hurt them. And then just to sit down, exactly the same, the chair is right behind you, okay? So don't worry about that. You bend your knees and down we go, just trusting. So it's a bit more of a conscious action on your way up than on your way down, and that is totally okay. So let's go one more time. So you squeeze your glutes, you squeeze your abs, your tummy, and you push your feet against the ground. Exactly. So you're doing things with a body awareness, you're doing things consciously in here, respecting that distance in between your knees. That's it. So you push your feet against the ground, squeeze your glutes, squeeze your tummy, and push it up. That's it. And if you need a bit of extra assistance, maybe you have one chair with arms and you can use the arms, okay? But ideally, just use the rest of your body, use your muscles in here, and you will get more and more benefits. So let's go through a few more of these. Up, and down, keeping your spine up and long. So try not to let go, try not to crouch like this. Keep it up, and that is all coming from your core. Actually, we have worked on that with Pilates. So work on your tummy muscles, keep them squeezed in. So up, 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 you stay long and tall, and down, just bending your knees. One more, folks. Up, careful with the position of your knees. Up, 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 a bit taller. And down, nice. And take a few deep breaths. Relax your shoulders, find your length. Let's go for the next one. The bridge is a very versatile exercise that we find not only in functional training, but also in other disciplines like the ones you know already, like in yoga and in Pilates. But the bridge will help you improve your lower body strength, the strength in your legs and your glutes, but it also works on your core and your low back muscles, and the most important thing for me, it works on the strength and the stability of your hips and your pelvis, and that is something that you will benefit from in almost every activity that you'll go through in your everyday living. So let's go for it. What I need you to do is you're going to lay down on your back, and you're going to bring your feet as close to your buttocks as possible, keeping them hip width apart and parallel and flat. And if you already saw the Pilates session, what I want you to do now is to try and find your neutral pelvis, okay? And if you didn't go through that Pilates session, don't worry. What I mean by this, I don't want you to have too much of an space underneath your lower back. So if you have too much of an arcing here, I want you to try and correct and get your lower back a bit closer to the mat, okay? So you tilt your pelvis, you bring your tailbone up, you push your hip bones in, just bring it a bit closer. Not completely flat, but just a tiny bit closer, okay? Just a tiny space under your lower back. So flatten your feet again. Once you're ready, rest your arms alongside the body. And then we go for the full tilting action in here, okay? So you bring your tailbone up. Now I want you to push your lower back against the mat and squeeze your glutes to push your pelvis up. Exactly, so you do it using the muscles of your glutes. And then starting with your upper back, okay, your shoulder blades, you go rolling back to the mat, rolling down one vertebra at a time, squeezing your abs to help you go safely down. Nice. Come back to your neutral with that tiny space underneath your lower back. And let's go again. Tilt your hips, tailbone up, flatten your lower back, squeeze your glutes, squeeze your tummy, and push it up. Exactly. And then starting from the top of your spine, so shoulder blades first, you go one vertebra at a time, back down to the mat. Okay, so no rush, back to neutral, so you create that little bit of a curve in your lower back, and you take it from there just to do a few more. Okay, so flatten your lower back, feeling that tilting action from your pelvis, squeeze your glutes consciously, squeeze your tummy, and push it up. So make sure that you're not straining your vertebrae, okay? So use your muscles, and on your way down, exactly the same, or even more important, the use of your muscles to avoid hurting your lower back. Good, so keep going. So just let me show you briefly in here where I don't want you to do, because you will end up hurting yourself, okay? So once you're up here, this can be the easiest part. But once you're up here, what I don't want you to do is just to lose control and let go and fall flat like this, okay? Because you may hurt your spine. So remember, we are up here, we're still squeezing our tummy and our glutes. And what I want you to do is to curve, to C-shape your spine, and start with your upper back, rolling your spine down one vertebra at a time. Nice and controlled. Okay, let's do just one more together. So tilting a little, flatten your lower back, squeeze your glutes and your tummy, push it up, just breathe normally. Push it up, nice. And then nice and controlled, top to bottom, roll it back down again. Nice. Nice. Okay, allow me just to come back to you and face you again, using a nice transition. Exactly, you take a few deep breaths as we would normally do. So, my recommendation for this one, you can do 2 or even 3 sequences of 10 repetitions, okay, up and down. So let's go to the next exercise. So when performing daily tasks or activities, we rarely move in a straight line. We would usually follow diagonal patterns that require balance and strength from multiple groups of muscles. So think, for example, in the way that you move when you are sweeping the floor of your house, or vacuuming the floor, the carpet in your house, or when you're raking the leaves in the yard, or the way that you need to step to the side to avoid running into someone out in a crowded street, or the way you move if you are playing tennis, if you like to play tennis, for example. So that is where the multi-directional lunge comes in. So what I want you to do for this practice, we're going to be doing one side first and then we will do the other. So I would like you to see me properly. I think this should be the right way. Let's say that we're going to start with the right leg moving, finding a nice and neutral position. So if you saw and followed the Pilates video, I'm sure that you're familiar with this already. So try and follow a stable and balanced position to begin with. Okay, and from there, switching the weight of your body onto the left foot, you're going to let go of the right foot and you're going to step forward. So that is the first action. You can go farther or you can go closer to the body, okay, depending on your initial abilities. That is not a problem at all. So just find your step forward and try and keep both your feet in line with your hips, okay? So don't move any farther, not just now. And once we are here, we're going to bend both our knees. Good, just a little. And the knee forward is bending more than the knee in the back. And then we're going to come back. And we're going to do more or less exactly the same, coming from the hip but in a diagonal line. Okay, so you keep this leg as an anchor and you let go of the right leg to the side and you bend this one more and the one in the back just a bit less. Good, and then you come back. And you can just go way slower than this, and you can actually also use the help of a chair for assistance if you need that. And then the last one, we go all the way to the side, okay? All the way to the side. From the hip, and then you bend this one. And already try and keep this one fairly straight, because that is the final intention anyways. And come back to center using your tummy muscles. So remember, front, and again already the final intention is to leave the knee in the back from the ankle leg fairly straight. Okay, so try not to bend it already. Good, and you bend the front knee. Use your tummy muscles to collect you back to center. Diagonal, step, and bend. And distribute the weight of your body in between both your feet, because both of them are going to be on the floor. Inside, and bend. So find your balance, then move, step, find your balance again, and then go for the action. Don't rush into anything. There's no need to rush. And keep breathing, folks. Exactly, keep breathing. Diagonal. And as I said in the very beginning, tailor the exercise for yourself, okay? So you have your own abilities, you have your own baseline, as to say, probably your own medical conditions, your own injuries, your own intentions, your own goals. Work with that, okay? You also have your own abilities and your own strengths. Don't forget them. Okay, just one more on this side. Front. And if you lose your balance, because that happens eventually to all of us, you just bring it back, okay? Don't worry, just bring it back, find your balance again, and you keep moving from there, inside. Exactly, use your center, use your length. Let's go to the other one, okay? So front, good, step, rebalance, and then you move. And if you need to soften the back knee, go for that. Whatever you need, just keep your intentions clear. Diagonal, rebalance, exactly, inside. Nice, and observe the way that you're holding on to, let's say, one imaginary center. Okay, so your torso is straight, that is not changing. And so what happened in there? I just lost my balance. So I recollect myself, I recollect my center, and I start all over again. That's easy peasy. Nice. And if you somehow feel that you're taking this practice a bit too far, so just keep it closer to the body, keep everything closer to the body. So just one little step forward, soften through your knees, bring it back. One little step, diagonal step, bring it back, and again you can use the help of a chair, okay? And one little step to the side, so wherever that works for you. And again, keep breathing. We tend to forget about the breathing. I know that we're going to just breathing consciously, because that is the kind of breath that will help you go through the movement. You can inhale and exhale through your nose, or you can use again the kind of breath that we explored in the Pilates session, which might be a bit more powerful, exhaling through your mouth, if you remember that one. But again, you can just breathe in your own way, okay, for these functional training exercises. Because, as I mentioned, this is all about replicating actions that we are likely to go through in our daily lives. So just try and make everything as natural as possible. Okay, just one more. Front, diagonal, doing good, you're doing good. And side. And come back, with a bit of a shake, have a lot of deep breaths. And let's go for another one. So rows will help you strengthen the arms, the upper back, around your shoulder blades, and also the muscles around your chest to perform daily activities with your arms. Like, for example, something as simple as to open one door, or grab a bag of groceries, or the bag of laundry, or pulling a cord to start a lawn mower. So we're going to use a chair, and we're going to use just one bottle because we'll do one side at a time. So what I want you to do, you're going to grab your bottle, choose the one side because we'll do both, so don't worry about that. And you're going to support, to rest the opposite side knee on the chair, just close to the lateral edge, same side hand in here, okay? So my left side on the chair, and my right foot on the floor, my right hand with the bottle. What I want you to do in here is to use gravity as a means of resistance. So gravity is going to be working, let's say, against you to make things a bit more difficult for you, but in the way of benefiting you a bit more. So you're going to let go of the bottle of water, like this, until you find this kind of a vertical line with your arm, and we'll take it from here. So you bring the bottle closer to the chest, bending your elbow, but keeping it close to the body. So don't go to the side, just keep it close. And then you let it go. Exactly, bring it back. And try not to move anything else, okay? Just moving the arm, working all those muscles up and down. And because we are not working with a lot of weight in here, okay, because the bottle is not that big, repetitions will do the trick in here. So the more you do it, the more benefits you'll get and the harder you'll get. So you just repeat. And just one tip of a bit of advice in here, don't rush into it, because again, the slower you go, the more you'll feel it. Your muscles are holding the tension, and that will work nicely for you. So just keep breathing. Do a few series of, for example, 20. Exactly. So we are not mentally counting today, I'm just showing you. But you can keep that number in mind. 3 series of 20 repetitions. That will work nicely. Okay, so you can take a bit of a break in here. And then you can go for your second and third repetition. Okay, you can give it a bit of a shake, but just for the sake of showing you, we're going to do the other side. Okay, so allow me just to move the chair to the other side so that you can still see me. And again, same thing. You grab your bottle firmly with your hands. With your hand, you rest the opposite side, knee and hand on the chair. You find gravity. Find gravity in here, lowering your upper body. And then you find your movement, your action. Bottle to the chest. Elbow bend close to the side of the body. And as you can see, I'm not moving the rest of my body, okay? I'm concentrating on the particular action. I'm kind of isolating this one single action. Just focusing on the work of my muscles, focusing on the repetitions that I'm doing, and just breathing. Stay connected, observe your body. What's going on, how your body is reacting to the movement, what muscles are working right now. Good. And we can get to the 20 more or less, 20 repetitions. I'm not even counting in here. But you can do that on your own. Good, a couple more. And you rest. You give it a bit of a shake. Nice. Dedicate a few seconds always to observe your body and to give your body the chance to settle. A few deep breaths. And let's move on to the next one. So I'm going to give you a couple of versions of this torso twists exercise, and just because this twisting action of our spine can be a bit tricky, so in essence what you need to know is that the low part of your spine, of your back, your lower back, has just a small degree of rotation, whilst the upper part of your back, that is the thoracic part of your spine, can rotate or twist a bit more, but always with precaution. Okay, so in general, keep an eye on it. This is an action that we are likely to use in our daily activities, this rotation action, but just keep an eye on your spine because you don't want to hurt it, or if you already have issues, you don't want to make them worse. So for the first version of it, we're going to be seated and we won't use the ball. It's a bit of a more conservative version of it. So sit up tall and straight, with your feet firmly grounded on the floor. Draw your belly button in just a little. Concentrate on the movement as you start rotating your low back just a tiny bit. So remember how restricted the movement is going to come up from your low back. So once you find your limit, and this can be mine, I'm happy with that, I'm going to focus on my thoracic part of the spine. Okay, so that is the chest, the shoulders, the shoulder blades. So you push it a little from up there, holding on to the vertical line of your spine. So I don't want you to push forward, okay? The spine remains vertical, following a vertical line, and you're working from there with your twisting action. And once you reach your limit, your healthy and safe limit, you can turn your head back and just face back. And then come back to center, head first, then your chest, and then your lumbar area, and check that everything is good. Let's do the other side and see what happens in there. So lumbar area, just a bit from the top of your hips, just a tiny bit, using the strength of your core to help you protect that lumbar area even a bit more. And then your thoracic area, shoulders, chest, that is like the visual reference and the body physical reference that you can use, and then your head. And then you come back, head, chest and shoulders, and then low back. And repeat, okay, so the first side, low back, then chest and shoulders, and then your head. Use the help of your hands. Don't force it, just explore your limits within your safe range of movement. Back to center. So we move bottom to top. And we come back top to bottom, head first. Just one more per side. Make sure that you get familiar with the movement, because I intend to do the progression now with the ball. So if you're going to go through the progression, just make sure that you're safe. Okay, just one more, the other side. Exactly. The basis will be exactly the same, okay? So the basis of the movement, once we go through the progression, are going to be exactly the same. So let's stand up. If you're ready for this more advanced version of it, otherwise you can just stick to the seated version. We're going to do it from up here and with the ball, okay? So we're going to simply add a bit of a resistance. So we're going to hold it in front of the chest with the elbows bent. Okay, so I don't want you to hold it straight like that, not now. Elbows bent, close to the body, shoulders relaxed, okay, no tension up here. And the only tension will be in your hands and around your wrist, because I want you to squeeze the ball just a little as you twist, okay, as if you wanted to deflate the ball or explode the ball, as to say, okay. So you stay in your center, set up your nice and stable position. Good. Find your long vertical line and work in the same way that you did from the chair. So lower back first. So if you can see my hips, they are not going to be moving, okay? I'm not following with the pelvis. I'm just keeping pointing towards the front, just twisting my lower back just a tiny bit, just up to here. And then the upper part of the spine. Like a push against the ball. And turn my head back. And this way the muscles around my chest are working even a bit more, and in the upper arm. So I come back to center and I will do the other side. And maybe you can notice already, if you're looking at me, that my movement, my personal movement, is kind of restricted and it looks short and small. And I don't want to hurt myself, okay? So low back and then thoracic back. And I'm feeling the tension already, so I'm just going to stop right here. Head back, pushing against the ball with both hands equally, and come back head first. Reconnect to your breath. Okay, let's go one more time. So lower back first, pelvis stable, careful with that. Squeeze your tummy to help you keep your lower body stable and grounded. Nice. So especially if you have any issues around your back, extra careful with this one, or you can just simply skip it depending on the recommendation of your GP or your specialist. Okay, but if you're good to go, again, this is an action that we are likely to go through in our daily activities. Okay, so just try, and when you do it, just do it safely. Just one more per side. That is what functional fitness and training is all about, okay? So whatever it is that we are likely to be doing in our daily lives, in our real lives, just to help us do it a bit more safely and with more confidence. And back to center. A release. And see how you're feeling. Couple of deep breaths, as we would normally do. Let's go for the next one. So the farmer's carry is a beautiful and very holistic and complete exercise that is going to help you work on different groups of muscles in your body at the same time. You're going to be working your legs, and at the same time you're going to be working your arms, your chest, and the muscles of your back. You're also going to be working on your posture and on your endurance. So you are going to be needing these 2 bottles of water and a clear path, okay, to walk through. So I'm going to try and show it to you from here. Let's see if you can see me properly. I cannot show you the full size of it, okay, but hopefully you will see enough of it as to gain a vision of what the exercise aims at. So what I want you to do is to set your neutral position first in here. So you're going to keep your feet flat on the floor, hip width apart. You're going to find a long line through your spine, shoulders relaxed, chest open, and gaze to the front. Slightly squeeze your tummy in and keep it like that at all times, and just firmly grabbing the bottles with both your hands, like this, just to make the muscles of your arms work already. So just by firmly grabbing the bottles, you're feeling tension through the muscles of your arms, okay? And that is what I want, so keep it like that. Draw your belly button in, don't forget that. And whenever you're ready, it's all about walking, just walking, okay? So walk one step at a time, nice and consciously. I don't want you to run, I want you to be conscious of the way that you're walking. And you can go slower, you can go faster. When you reach the end, you turn around. But the idea in here is not to lose the correct posture as you walk. Okay, so you keep gazing to the front, shoulders relaxed. You turn around exactly, and you just keep walking. So the idea in here is that you're going to be walking for 30 seconds, then stop and rest for 5, and repeat 5 times. Okay? That is the idea. I'm not even counting, I'm not even timing myself, because what I want you to see is the technique of it. I'm not really interested in you doing the repetitions right now. I'm just interested right now in you to know and have a feel of the right and proper technique that you will be able to use on your own when you go through the repetitions. So the slower you go, the more challenging it will be. So if you want to challenge yourself a little, try and follow a bit of a slower pace that you would normally follow. Okay? Just to make things a bit more difficult for your body. Okay, so let's say that we have finished one round now. I think we did a bit longer anyways. So what you're going to do is 5 seconds, you rest, you give it a bit of a shake, you take a couple of deep breaths. 5 seconds is not a long time, and then you start all over again. You set up your posture, face to the front, shoulders relaxed, neutral position, tummy in, squeeze those buttocks, and then you start all over again. And you follow a straight line. Okay? So if you find that challenging for your balance, that's good. That is what we're talking about, because this is a nice one to improve your balance as well. Okay, so you work on that at your own time, at your own pace. And you keep breathing. Exactly. And this is basically it. I mean, if you want to use more weight in your hands because you feel that this is not doing much, feel free to do that. Or if you feel that the opposite, that somehow the bottles are taking your concentration out of the movement, just forget about the bottles and don't even use them. And so it's all optional, it's all for your own benefit, for your own good. So feel free to tailor the exercise for yourself. Exactly. Nice one. Okay, so I think you got the vision of it already, you got a feel of it. Another 5 seconds, and then you will need to do another one. Okay, so that's it. Let's go for the next one. So these wall push-ups are a version of the classic floor push-ups. They are a bit easier and they are much safer for your shoulders, but equally efficient and beneficial. Okay, so ideally we will be practicing them on a regular wall, but I live in an attic, so most of the walls are in a diagonal, and the flat walls are just covered with something. Okay, so forgive me for that, but I'm just going to be using this little piece of flat vertical wall that I found in my place. But you can totally do it on a regular wall. Okay, so what I'm going to be doing in here, I'm going to rest my hands on the wall, more or less in front of the chest. Okay, something like this. Plus I'm too tall for these walls, so that's another thing, but hopefully you will see the essence of it. Fingers spread, and these fingers are out of the wall, but for you, you're going to be pushing the wall firmly. Okay, so don't mind about my settings in here. And you're not going to be too far, but not too close either. So maybe you can try and start with one step back, and you can adjust later, so that you feel a bit of the gravity feeling in here as you fall onto your hands, but it is doable, it's not too much. So from here, hands in front of the chest, you're going to let go and bring your chest closer to your hands, and then push your hands against the wall, to bring yourself back to the initial position. And in this very first moment, you can do the adjustments that you may need if you need some. Otherwise, just keep going. So falling onto your hands, chest close to your hands, and then pushing back. And remember to use as much of the surface of your hands as possible, okay? So don't push with your wrists, careful with that. Use everything you have in there. So you get closer and then you push. And if you're doing it properly, the moment you fall close to your hands, you will feel the tension through your muscles in your arms, okay? So through your biceps, through your chest. You need to feel that tension. And equally as you push back. Good. So for me, the elbows are not to be to the side, but not following the same line of the body either. So what I like to do is just to keep them somewhere in between. That is what works better for my elbows, but you can find your own way, okay? So not to the side all the way, just somewhere closer to the body anyways. Exactly. Keep your neck long, keep your spine long, so that your arms are doing most of the job. And if this is too challenging for you, just get a bit closer to the wall, just get a bit closer and start working with your arms in a bit of a safer way. And obviously, if this feels too easy for you, just walk all the way back, as far back as you can, and work from here, okay? Work from here, totally up to you. But normally one step back will do the trick. And breathe in your own way. Remember, feel the tension, but make sure that the tension comes from your muscles and not from your joints. Okay, keep an eye on that. Shoulders should be safe, same as your wrists and your elbows. We'll just do a couple more for the sake of the demonstration. And of course, it goes without saying, your lower back should feel nice and relaxed. And just one more. And back to center. Nice one. Are you feeling it? I'm feeling it already in my arms, in my chest, around my shoulder blades. Get a bit of a shake, a couple of deep breaths. And let's move on to the next one. So for the stair climbing exercise, you will need some stairs, but if you don't happen to have some in your place, don't worry, because we'll simply need the one single step, okay? So a reasonably high step, that's all we need. So this is a marvelous exercise to strengthen your lower body. So we're going to be working our quads, they're going to be burning real good, and we're going to be working our glutes, core and low back muscles. But it's a very nice exercise and a very effective one to work on your body awareness, your balance and your coordination. Plus, it will help you improve your cardiovascular endurance, which is always nice. Okay, so I'm going to be giving you my back. I'm sorry about that, but I don't see any other way to do this so that you can properly see the action. So we're going to do in here, we're going to be facing the stairs or that one step in a neutral and stable position, and we're going to choose one leading side. So we'll do a few repetitions, and then we'll switch to the other. Let's say that I'm choosing my left foot. So with the foot flat, I'm going to step up, okay, on the step, flat foot, stable, careful with your knee, focus on your technique, and then using your core and your glutes, you push up and you follow with the right. And then same leading foot, that is my left, down, flat and nice, following with the right. So left, right, and you remain nice and tall in here, so reaching up towards the ceiling. Left, right, you're not swinging, you stay stable. Left, right, slightly squeezing your tummy in, and you reach your 10. Counting myself, but when you do this on your own, you should be counting 10 repetitions one side, and then you switch to the other leg, to the other foot. So now is right, left, and right, left. And if you feel your muscles, if they are working, you're doing good. If you feel that you're straining your joints, you need to either adjust or take a bit of a break, okay? So careful with that. Remember, functional fitness is partially about the proper and the correct technique. Okay, so you need to be efficient to be safe. Right, left. Pace, you choose your rhythm. You go nice and powerful in here. Okay, so this is just a glimpse of it. So when you finish your 10 and 10, you take a break in here. So let's say around 10 seconds. Take a few deep breaths. Shake it out. Check the rhythm of your heart. So if it's going a bit faster, that is good. Okay, so don't be lazy. Challenge yourself a little. As long as you can keep talking normally, that's okay. You're going to be fine. Okay, just don't push it too far further than that, but you should be okay. Good. Bit of a shake, and then you go through the rest of repetitions. You do 10 more per side. You take a break, and then 10 more per side. So in total, 3 sequences of 10 and 10. And that's it. Okay, so I hope you enjoyed this functional fitness tasting session. I hope that you are more curious about it and that you want to practice it on your own. In the next and last video, we're going to be exploring ways of preventing and managing frailty and falls. Thanks for watching. I will see you on that one. Bye.